It's not a question of if there's a school shooting. It's a question of when the school shooting is going to take place. It's not a question of if my kids, it's a question of when my children are in school. And this is something that is absolutely unacceptable, but a cycle we go through every single school year.
Hey beautiful people, how you all doing today? It's your girl Destiny here and welcome to my channel. How you are doing? Hope you guys are doing great. So today's video we want to talk about the school shooting that happened sometimes last week in Georgia and left 4 people unalive and 9 people injured. This school Pew Pew was done by a 14-year-old child. And this has struck a bigger conversation. This boy was being investigated when he was 13, that he was planning to Pew Pew a school, and his father blatantly denies it and all that, and yet his father was one of the people teaching him how to use Pew Pew. And now, the first day of school, this child decided to take a Pew Pew to unalive his schoolmates. A lot of people are saying mental health, a lot of people are saying different things, but how this incident has gotten a lot of people talking. And the thing is that every year we come on to talk about a school or a mass Pew Pew, but it's just, oh, let's just say a prayer and it's just back to the same. There's no reform, there's no law put in place to stop this thing or even reduce it. It just keep happening. Anyway, guys, we're going to hear people's thoughts, what they think about this and the solution, and then I'll come back and share more of my thoughts. But I want to know what you think about this story and what do you think are the solution. So with that all said, guys, let's go check it out.
We are only a few weeks into the school year and a school shooting has been reported at Apalachee High School in Winder, Georgia. Police are calling this a large-scale tragedy and they currently have the suspect in custody according to some early reports. Winder, Georgia is about 100 miles outside of Atlanta. This is something that is so unfortunate because American parents grapple with this every single school year. It's not a question of if there's a school shooting, it's a question of when the school shooting is going to take place. It's not a question of if my kids, it's a question of when my children are in school. And this is something that is absolutely unacceptable, but a cycle we go through every single school year. And it has to stop. It's a cycle of something like this happens and it's absolutely scary and terrifying. Then we get thoughts and prayers, but then we stop at thoughts and prayers. There's no policy. There's no action at all whatsoever. It's just, we're going to pray for these people. Our thoughts are with these people. Thoughts and prayers are not stopping from children in school. Thoughts and prayers are not preventing these school shootings from happening. Policy and change is what we need at this point. This story is still developing, and as it does, I will bring you more information.
The father of the school shooter at Apalachee High School, he's been arrested. You want to know why he's been arrested? Because he gave the gun that the child used to his classmates. Don't worry, it gets more than that, because last year, the FBI investigated Colt. He was then 13 years old. And they said, hey, we got reports. They're talking about like, shooting up a school. Is this true? And he said, no, couldn't be me. Right? So then they asked his dad, Colin. They said, hey, does he have access to here? And he said, no. And the FBI said, but you have, yes, we do. But he doesn't have access to them. No, of course not. So the dad knows this is about his son, that he's being investigated for talking about shooting up a school. So what does the dad do? He buys his son a gift, an AR-15 rifle that then Colt used his classmates. And everyone's so this is mental health, it's because of bullying, right? Let me pause for a second. I'm a teacher and I'm a therapist, all right? I feel like I'm uniquely qualified to talk about this. Yeah, we are lacking mental health resources in the United States badly, and we need more of it. Here's the thing, so are other countries, so are other developed countries, and guess what? They still don't have this issue. Where you guys say, okay, then it was bullying. It was Colt's first day of school. He was a brand new student. He didn't even make it half day before he did this. Yep, bullying absolutely has to end. Mental health resources we absolutely need. We also need reform. That does not mean we get rid of the Second Amendment. It means that we have responsible and sensible gun laws. And don't tell me it doesn't work because it works for other countries.
Mass shooting. Are people just normalizing this? It's okay for kids to grab a gun and just other kids? No, there are so many red flags out there, like so many. We've had so many shootings. I don't know, are we waiting for an explosion? I mean, because the red flags are there and we are not doing anything about it. What are we gonna do about it? Are we just going to sit here and pretend that this is something normal, that this happens? No, we can't do that. Our children are not safe. Our teachers are not safe. We have to do something about it. I am pro, but there has to be some accountability. Your brain does not fully develop till you're 25 years old. And a 14-year-old has access to a weapon. This can happen. We have to do something about it. So we as a nation have to stand together. Guys, I'm here to put content out because I advocate for mental health, well, everybody's mental health, and how important it is to teach our children social emotional learning, emotional intelligence. Follow me to hear more tips and strategies about how you can do this. So I worked in a school. I was in my kids' school in an elementary. I was there for 7 years. There was a bomb threat. It crossed my head as a counselor and me being there with my kiddos. I said to myself, what would I do if this was real, or if there was a shooter here? All those thoughts came to my head. Like, would I go and just go directly to my kids or would I help people, the kids that are here? Like, what would I do? Because obviously my kids, right? But at the same time, everybody in that school, every single kid is important. But those were thoughts that were going through my head. So I can imagine teachers right now, what they're thinking, what they're saying, what is going through their head. Did I lock the door? Somebody, like the anxiety now, the anxiety with teachers, the anxiety with the kids. Oh gosh, this is something that we should be talking about. This is something that we should be doing. Actions speak louder than words. We cannot just sit here and say, this is something normal. It's normal. Oh yeah, another mass shooting. Just gets me really, really mad, guys. Because those are precious lives, like those little ones. Oh gosh. Don't forget, like, follow, and share. Bye.
So unfortunately, we've heard about the news of Apalachee High School, where there was another school. Unfortunately, Colt Gray, 14-year-old kid, went into classrooms, and I believe there's 9 people injured. 4 have been presumed. And prayers to the family. There was a quote that I had put out about a month ago that goes, children who are loved at home go to school to learn, but those that aren't come to school to be loved. This was a 14-year-old boy, okay? And I can only imagine some of the things he was going through at home, mentally, and sometimes, man, and this is just make sure y'all holding y'all kids close. I'm just being real, bro. Make sure y'all holding y'all kids close. Make sure y'all checking that Twitter. Make sure y'all checking that Discord. Make sure y'all checking that Twitch. Who are they watching? Who are they learning from? Things like that, man. The YouTube. To me, this was a case of neglect. Not just from the parents, but the whole situation. Also, make sure y'all go check out, I'm going to tag her. Make sure y'all go check out Black Belt Babe. I believe that's her channel. And she talks about it extensively, like everything that's going on. And she did a great job, great breakdown. And I was just scrolling on TikTok, man. I seen one of the little boys talking about it as well, where he's literally talking about being shielded by his teacher, right? He's talking about the smoke and you know what I mean, how the going off hurt his ears and things like that, man. These are very traumatic experiences that it's gonna take a while for these kids to get over it, right? So prayers to the family, and just make sure y'all holding y'all kids tight, man. We're not doing a good job at all.
So it's a pretty sad and gloomy morning here in Georgia. If you weren't aware, yesterday there was a school in northern Georgia. Really sad. I'm not here to report the news or anything. I just want to prompt a conversation and hopefully prompt conversations at home with your kids. I think it's extremely important as parents that we have conversations with our kids. I don't have kids, but I was around when Columbine happened in the late 90s. This was, for the Gen Zers and younger folks that are unaware, this was a very bad mass shooting that happened. When this happened, this is when we started to learn shooter drills. And I remember thinking, what would I do in that scenario? We never really talked about it at home. We didn't talk about feelings at all. And for me personally, as somebody who wears her feelings on her sleeve, it was very hard for me to deal with, to be honest. And to this day, I'll never forget all the scenarios that would run through my head. I'm telling you this because I want you guys to realize you don't know what your kids are thinking. And it's really important to have these conversations. So I remember thinking, what would I do in this situation? And I went over and over and over it in my head all the time. I thought, well, I'm an actor. I act at our community theater. I act at school. I can just pretend and stand up that I want to be on their side and that I want to go down with them. And then once I have a position of power with them, I'll turn it on them and I'll beat them up and all these things. Like it's crazy. And it's sad that I had to think that. What's sad is kids have to think that. I really think it's important to have these conversations at home. Even if it didn't happen at your school, even if it didn't happen in your state, it's important to have these conversations, to ask how they feel. Do they feel safe? Because you do know that they hear the news just like you guys hear the news, whether it be on the radio when you're dropping them off at school. I mean, unfortunately, this happens at elementary schools. It happens at middle schools. It happens at high schools. It happens at colleges. It happens everywhere. But schools-wise, just make sure your kids are okay and just check in on them. Because remember, at the end of the day, we're all human. We all have feelings. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox now.
In light of the Apalachee school shootings, please don't ever ask me again why I care so much about the way other people parent their children, because this is a prime example of why I care so much. The perpetrator that carried out this horrendous crime is a 14-year-old, a child, a baby in my eyes, but we all know they're not a baby. And this child is responsible for the driving of 4 people and the injuring of many, many more. And what makes this even more horrific in my eyes is that this same 14-year-old was questioned at the age of 13 for suspicion that they had put out word that they were going to do a school shooting, that they had pictures of guns put up on their social media page. Now take that in. And before you come at me and say, are you blaming the parents? Yes, to a certain degree, I am. And before you say, well, parents can't be held responsible for everything that their children do. Yeah, they kind of can be. See, children are your responsibility. I've said this many times before. And if there was any thought in your mind, any suspicion in your head that your child was having these thoughts, that your children were putting this stuff out there on their gaming system, on their social media, you should have taken action. You should have gotten them some help. You should have contacted authorities. You should have contacted the school and said, hey, y'all might want to be on alert because my child is exhibiting some very not good behavior right now. See, parents don't like to really take responsibility in my mind at this age. We're giving a little too much freedom. That is your child. At 13 and 14, you should be monitoring every cell phone they have. You should be monitoring their social media. You should be watching these game systems. You should know the friends they're hanging around. And furthermore, privacy? What privacy? In my home? Absolutely not. There's no privacy. I will take the door off of the hinge if I have to. Parents are not being as involved and as proactive as they should be with their children. Yes, I care how you parent your children, because the way you parent your children affects everybody else in this world. Because somebody dropped the ball, there are 4 innocent people who are. There are a lot of people that have been hurt, and there are so many other people who are mentally going to need some counseling to get past this situation. No parent should have to fear sending their child to school because someone else is not parenting and taking care of their responsibility properly. And what I will say is that the school resource officers, law enforcement, they jumped in there quickly and they handled that situation, because there could have been a lot more hurt and injured, all behind the behavior of a 14-year-old. There is no way that the police could have come to my house when my child was 13 and they could have said to me, you know, we have gotten tips that your child is talking about shooting up a school, that they're posting pictures of guns. It wouldn't have happened, because if it did, oh honey, it would have been completely a different atmosphere in my home. Like, this is insane. Where did he get the gun? Why did he even have a cell phone? Why did he have these things if we knew that he was not using them for the purpose they should be, which is just being a teenager, being friendly, being entertaining? If they don't know how to handle things like that, they don't need them. Parents have to take more responsibility for their offspring. This is not an adult. No, we cannot control what our adult children do, but these are children. You can control the things that go on in your home. This is not an adult. This is a baby. You could control this. This could have been somewhat controlled. And like I said, if you felt like you could not physically control this child, you could have called and got this child some help. You could have alerted people. You could have let the school know. They should have been on high alert from day one. We have not even been in school a month yet. I am angered. Yes, I am heartbroken, but I am angry, because parents, we have to do better. We have to do better for our children and by our children. Y'all parents are dropping the freaking ball. Your children are not your friends. I don't care what you say. They are not your friends. They are your responsibility. They are your child. You have a responsibility to raise them properly, to train them, to teach them. They're not your friends. This has to end. And until they start charging parents with the mischief of their children, I don't think it will. But do I feel like they should be charged? Absolutely. And I don't care how you feel about me. This is a child, not an adult. People need to be responsible for their offspring. Good day.
She said it all. She said it all. I saw the news and I didn't even know what to feel. But please go down in the comment section and share your thought. Love to know what you think about this conversation down in the comment section, and what you think are the measures to put in place to help the situation. What do you think are supposed to people are supposed to do, parents are supposed to do? What do you think as people we're supposed to do? I know I'm not in the United States, but this type of conversation is so important, because we're seeing things go out of hand and just go down, and yet every year we do 1, 2, 3 mass school shooting, and it's just, oh, let's pray for the family and it's all gone. So please go down in the comment section, share your thoughts, share some of your things you think will help. But go down and do that. But please, as always, keep it respectful. Here on this channel, we're allowed to disagree, but we do it in a respectful way. So go ahead, feel free, share your thoughts, okay? So I heard this news. When I saw the news, I'm just like, the boy is being charged. The father too is also being charged, because the father knows and all that. And this is where, like, in my own head, sorry, my thoughts is all jumbled up here, because it's just really crazy for me. And this is where, as people, I usually say that people should hold up on having children, because when we talk about having children, some people are not even meant to be parents. And this is something that happens over and over every year in the US, where children go to school and there's this fear that there might be a mass shooting. Why will a child be in school and then there's a fear? And this is even in high school. This is a 14 years old child. For a 14 years old child to even start incubating such thoughts in his head. And then a random thought that entered my head last week. I was like, as much as we talk about school shooting, mass shooting, and all that, we don't have. I know somebody said, Destiny, why you bring it, but why is it always the boys, the men that do this? Why? Have we asked ourselves that question? Because I feel like that should be like one of the major thing for us to start talking about solution and all that. Why is it that it's always the men, the boys that are doing it? Yes, people talk about mental health and all that. Women, everybody has mental health. Everybody mental health needs to improve and all that. But why is it that it is the boys, the men that usually do pick up a pium and go and try to take everybody? Why is that? And I feel like that's a very key one. Let me know if I miss any female school shooter and all that. Let me know. But in my own head, top of the head, I could count different boys, men that have done it. And this just boils down to when we talk about people having children. People just really need to hold on having children. Like, having a child should be something very, very intentional, not something that, oh, something like drinking water, it just happened. It should not be like that, or spilling a milk. It should not be like that, because there are a lot of people out there that are not meant to be parents, because this boy has a parent and he turned out this way. And one thing in his head at the age of 13 is that he knows he wanted to pium his mates. What will make another human being in his head thinking of how he wants to take the life of another human being? Why? At that, whatever age, then especially at that young age. Why? What was the thought process? What was he exposed to? Who are his parents? Obviously, his father was almost like enabling him, because he was the one that taught him how to use it. He was the one that bought it for him like crazy. Yes, his father. And why will a father want to equip his child with such things, where there are so many healthy things for you to equip your child with, but the one thing you want to equip your child is how to use a pium and not pay attention? And even when there was an allegation and investigation going on that he's planning to pium school, you decided to get him a pium. Still the father. Didn't say the mother, the father. Why? At this point, people just stop, because I feel like, yeah, there's still some good people out there in the world, but I feel like people that are having children now are just raising terrible human beings. Quote me. The children that are being raised now, I know someone said, no, not me, my own child, my own child. Everybody say, oh, but my own child, I make sure my own child, my household, my majority of the children raised now, I don't know. And this is coming from a place from generational trauma that has been rolled up into these children. And it's everywhere. In America, it's pium. In Nigeria, we have a serial killer killing young girls. That's another video. Yes. Different scenario of people, children, younger people just doing the most despicable things to human beings. My heart goes out to the family that was affected, and the entire children. This is children. My brain is not even comprehending this thing right now. Like, I saw the news, I'm just like, and that's why, yes, this video might be old, but I just feel like it is a very important conversation. People, before you have children, ask yourself, can you raise a good human being? Can you raise a human being? Because I don't understand the children that are being raised now. I don't understand, honestly. Anyway, guys, please go down in the comment section and share your thought. Love to know what you think about this amazing conversation down in the comment section. But as always, keep it respectful. Here on this channel, we're allowed to disagree, but we do it in a respectful way. So go ahead, feel free and share your thought. share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We have banging conversation. So go on and share this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push out my content for more people to see, and that will be you supporting this channel and this guest. So go on and do that. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Deuces.